Right now, it's currently absolutely lashing fucking rain outside my house because why would I deserve good weather? And all that I'm happy is I didn't decide to go out for the day because if so, you know, and I can't believe I've come to the point in my life where I'm actually starting to trust people. I'm actually willing to open up to people. Like, like I used to be such a closed off person. My book was completely fucking closed. And honestly, if anyone managed to get me to open up or anything like that, they deserved a fucking medal because I was so closed off, and I still am closed off, but now I actually open up to people when I feel like it's okay to open up to people. You know, like I think in society people are nearly praised for having no emotions and being avoidant and being distant and quote unquote being strong, but the reality is the strongest thing someone can do after being betrayed and abused is by trusting people and letting people in. That's one of the strongest shit you can do because it's what hurts the most. But if you trust and confide in the right person, it will make your life worth fucking living. You know, and it's like so long I was fucking surviving that I cut people off. I didn't let anyone in because if I, hypothetically speaking, trusted the wrong person and they betrayed me, I had so much going on that would have been my fucking breaking point. To be honest, I think I've hit rock bottom. I've hit my breaking point, and it's like just goes up from there, man. Like they ain't much more to say than that. It just fucking goes up, and it's like I can't believe I'm at the point of my life where it's like not every single moment is excruciating pain. You know, it's when your phone tells you have absolutely no storage, so you have to film again, and now you have to go edit 2 clips, right? Like, every single moment of my life used to be fucking excruciating pain, but I had vague moments of relief. So it's kind of weird now. Well, weird in a good way. It doesn't feel real that I'm okay, fine, content. I kind of go between those. Like, I almost can't believe how different life can be just because I cut off my immediate family. Like, I don't talk to my dad, I don't talk to my sisters, I don't talk to my mum. That's all my immediate family gone, you know? And it's like, I barely even talk to my family as it is, you know? And it's like, it's so peaceful, and I think only people who've experienced it can ever understand the feeling. You know, there's some, like, sympathy and putting yourself into other people's shoes and empathy and all that. It can only get you so far. There are certain feelings and certain experiences you need to fucking experience it. You know, and I will completely admit, there's, like, certain experiences and stuff like that I have absolutely no clue on. And I'm naive about. You know, but it's like, when it comes to trauma and family and fucked up complicated families with alcoholics and mentally ill people, come to me, I know everything about that, I know everything, practically, well, not everything, but you know what I mean. Yeah, don't be jealous of all my trauma, don't be jealous. Yeah, I think, honestly, I hope everyone gets the point where they find peace. I think so many people, just because they're so desperate to be loved and get affection and just have someone to numb the loneliness and have someone to try to stop the lonely feeling, even though they're hurting you. Like, I think that's why a lot of people stay in abusive relationships and stay around toxic families, just because when you've been through so much abuse, it's hard to have friendships and it's hard to find friends. It's hard to fit in, you know? So it's like they're often left socially stunted or going to gravitating towards people who aren't good for them, and they end up with little friends, and if they have friends, they're shit friends. And then we're social creatures, so then they end up on this whole codependency thing with their parents, even though their parents are the one who's basically fucked their whole life up. It's like, oh, I have to do everything my mum wants because, oh yeah, then she'll love me and then she'll she'll care about me, but the reality is you can do everything you want, that woman won't love you. You know, I feel like looking back on it, on like who I was as a kid, I found it's so sad. You know, I gave my everything to be my mother's nothing. You know, and it's like, I find it so ironic that I had to give up on being loved to finally be accepted by people. You know, like, I gave up on my father when he abandoned me, like a couple of years after he abandoned me. I accepted that. I accepted my dad didn't love me. I accepted that he didn't want me. You know, and that's one fucking hit. But having a mother, having a mother who doesn't want you and doesn't love you and wants to ruin your life, that's another level of pain. Because mothers, they're meant to love you, they're meant to care about you, and it's like, I know, like, the father wound hurts. I can tell you, the father wound hurts a lot too, but like, the mother wound, that's a whole nother fucking story. You know, like, but the thing is, if I ever run into her again, she won't fucking recognize me, because I ain't never letting that woman has no control over me anymore. You know, when I used to live with her, I used to, like, lock myself in my room. Like, every time she just, like, torment me and stuff like that, I just wouldn't say anything. I just ignored her. You know, because I knew if I fought, and I knew if I yelled, and I knew if I hit her, and I knew if I did all this, I'd just be worse off. I knew it wouldn't benefit me. I knew it would just feed into her narrative that, oh, my crazy daughter and all this. But it's like, the way for me to survive is by ignoring her and avoiding her like the fucking plague. And to be honest, it was hell. Like, all my life at the time revolved around avoiding her and ignoring her, not speaking to her, and avoiding all her torment, you know? And it's like, it's the most logical solution I came up with at the time, but my whole life was surrounded by surviving, you know? And for your formative years just to be fucking surviving and not living, it's another level of grief. I have to grieve a father who didn't love me, a mum who didn't love me and hated me and wanted to use me. I had to grieve a childhood I never got. I had to grieve who I was meant to really be. Like, I'm happy with who I am now, but you'd never get someone like me without all the years of pain I went through. You know, and sometimes I really wonder, who would I be if I didn't go through all this? But it's like, I'm happy with who I am. This is me. You know, I'm not saying I'm only everything about my trauma is me, because I'm so much more than my trauma. But it's like, without my trauma, I would have never ended up like this. And I got my fucking issues. I have issues. We all have issues. Like, I'm healing for mum. I'm getting better as time goes on, and time doesn't heal wounds. As time goes on, you have more opportunity to heal. But it doesn't just heal it. You know, like, someone could spend a decade just drinking and running away from their pain and shit doesn't get healed. Another person could spend a decade going to therapy, like, journaling, whatever the fuck you do, yoga, whatever, gym, whatever makes you feel content with who you are, and, like, heals you and gives you peace. You know, it's like, I think one of the biggest things that fucks with abuse victims is they view what made them strong as what made them weak. You know, like, the fact you were there like, if you've been through trauma, just imagine the most traumatic shit you've gone to, if you're in that space. If you're not, just listen to me, don't imagine it. But I'm gonna think about the most traumatic shit I've been through, and it's like, I felt so weak in that moment. You know, I was so weak in that fucking moment. I felt weak. But when I actually look back at it, I think I was 7. You know? And I experienced my mum saying she didn't love me. You know? Like, she taught me how to wash the fucking clothes in the washing machine. Like, I was 7. That shouldn't have been my responsibility. And I ended up clicking the wrong button. So something went wrong with the washing machine. And she she full on yelled at me. And she would just did this whole horrific yelling at me, everything. And I broke down crying. I was on the floor. I was thrown down. And I was crying my eyes out. And it's so sad to think about it. But I was like, I love you. I love you. Like, I love you. Please stop yelling at me. You know? And it's like, she said, Baguette, stop saying I love you. Because I don't love you. You know? This was like a year after my dad just left, you know, and it's like I already felt it loved as it was, you know, and it's like to be that young and to face that much hopelessness, it was fucking crushing. I don't know how I survived the shit I did, and it's like even with all the like neglect shit and all everything. I know there's other things that I went through that people would consider worse. But the worst fucking part was how unloved I felt. You know, how at the end of the day, I was just a little kid who wanted to be fucking loved. You know, I was so young. You know, I did everything I could for her to love me. And for her to show me some care. And just for her to be proud of me. You know, I cleaned the whole house. I did the washing. I cooked her food when she got home. You know, I did so much stuff I should have never done, like, so young. You know, and it's like I just wanted her to say she loved me. You know, and I did one thing wrong. And she showed how little I meant to her. You know, and it's like, oh, okay, well, this is that. I'm gonna continue. I know this is a bit heavy, but I know it's gonna help someone who needs to hear. And it's like, I think the best thing I ever did for myself was giving up on her loving me, and giving up on my dad loving me. You know, when I did everything. I gave up my identity. I gave up any chance of happiness. I gave up on basically any chance of friendship. I gave up on any chance of being a child for her to love me. And she didn't even love me. So, when I finally got strong enough, when I gave up on trying to make that fucking vile cunt of a woman happy, when I gave up on being loved, that's when I actually got the chance to be a healthy person. That's when I got to the point of myself where I was having healthy relationships and stuff like that. And when I gave up on pleasing my mother and being codependent and having no backbone, the abuse, it got worse. But it got worse in different ways. She stopped feeding me. She started tormenting me. She started name calling me. She started yelling at me. She hated my existence because I was existing outside of her. She hated what I became because I realised who she truly was. I saw behind the fucking mask she put up on being this perfect, loving mother. I saw behind that, and I saw how vile she really was. I saw how pathetic she was. I saw how broken she was. And to be honest, I don't care if she went through trauma. I don't give a fuck. You know, I survived what she put me through. But my sisters, they're still fucked up. They're still living with her. They're still falling into all her bullshit. Do you know what? I will be happy the day she dies. The day she dies, I will cry tears of joy because someone that vile doesn't deserve to be happy. And I know she isn't happy because someone that fucked up that can do the shit she did to me isn't going to be happy. You know? And even if she dies with people around her, I know she's gonna suffer. I know she's gonna suffer. You know, with all the pain and torment she put me through, I never let her break me. And I think that kills her. She tried so long just to break my spirit. And she never will. And she never will. She never did and she never will. You know? And what she did still hurts me. Everything she put me through, some more than others, still hurts. It still stings. I still cry. But I'm on my journey to happiness. And I'll have one thing she'll never have. I'll have multiple things she'll never have. I'll have people who actually care about me and I'll be happy. And I know that's going to haunt her. You know? And honestly, if I don't haunt her, it is what it is. The best revenge you can ever do is being happy with your life. And that's the revenge I'm going for. I should have killed her. I should have beat her up. I probably should have said more. Should have stood up for myself more. Even, I don't know. But the route I went down, the journey I went down to survive everything I went through, was the best one for me. You know? And I think, for me personally, it's what my journey to happiness, and it's what made me happy. You know? Just be you. You know? And don't ever feel fucking weak for what you went through. And don't ever look down yourself for what you had to do to survive. Because I used to look down on myself for being codependent and doing everything that she ever wanted and needed just to feel loved. But it's like, I was just a child. It's what I had to do to survive. Was there other methods of survival that probably were better? Maybe. Yes, there probably was. But I put on my thinking cap. That was my solution. That's what I went with at the time. And you know what? If I went down a different route, I'd be a different person. I'm happy with who I am today, so I'm happy I went through all that bullshit. You know, you're not weak for what you went through. You're the fucking opposite. You're strong. You're still fucking here. You might want to be fucking here, but you're still fucking here. Your heart's still beating. You know? You're still trusting people. You're still trying to be better. You're clearly trying to be better. You're listening to me fucking speak and fucking cry and all this bullshit. You know? You're you. You know, you are you. And I know bullshit still happens. And I still have trauma going on. But hey, I'm getting close to happiness. Every single day that goes by, this will be the only positive shit I'll ever say. Every single day that goes by is a day I'm close to happiness. Because it's a day I'm close to 18. And that's how I get happy. My independence and all that. Just be you. And don't ever let anyone make you feel like you're weak because of some shit you went through. Because if they think that, they're a fucking fool. Okay. I think I'm going to need a bit of breather after this now. You will get some light-hearted stuff from me soon, I swear. You'll get some light-hearted stuff here, but I just need to get that off my chest. Okay? Hope this helps someone. Bye-bye. Baguette is leaving.